Hey, welcome to today's video. Today you're gonna see different Amazon PPC tips and tricks for Q4, Prime Day, and the holidays. And today I'm accompanied by Jelena from Amazonia PPC. She's the owner of this agency, and they create listings for Amazon sellers. They do PPC, A+ content, and a bunch of other stuff for Amazon sellers. So Jelena is here with us today. So Jelena, please introduce yourself to us. I'm pretty happy to have you here. We've connected a while ago and now we are on a call. Glad to have you here.
Hi, Vova. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being my host. I'm happy to be a guest on your channel. It's an honor. I've been following your channel for a while now. Tons of useful content there that I've found, and I'm very, very happy to be here. You told me to introduce myself. So I'm Jelena from Amazonia PPC. We do PPC campaign management and product listing optimization and also branding services for Amazon sellers. We're specialized for the Amazon marketplace. And Vova and I recently had a discussion about some possible preparations and things that affect performance moving forward and how to prepare for Q4. So I'm happy to share my insights today.
Yeah, thank you for coming today and sharing all this. I've been following you as well. I don't remember when exactly we connected, but I guess a few good months ago. It always kind of, kind of a bit gets lost, but I'm really happy. I've seen you also being very active on different podcasts and different YouTube channels. So you share a lot of cool stuff, practical stuff, and that's what people like on this channel as well. Like, we like everything, we like motivation as well, but we really enjoy like practical content to implement into our Amazon FBA businesses. So really happy to have you here. And yeah, would love to hear your opinion on different Amazon PPC tips and tricks for this Q4, different holidays. It's very exciting what's going to happen. So it's not going to be a regular Q4. There is no regular Q4 actually, but this one is, with this 2020, for those who still haven't seen, we're in 2020. It's a crazy year so far. So I would be glad to hear your stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be a regular Q4 simply because of the changing trends. Like you mentioned, that we see at the beginning of this year, a lot of people who went to retail stores to buy stuff are now resorting to e-commerce simply because of this whole change in behavior, staying more at home and social distancing. So my projection is that retail is going to be even less relevant in the future and more pressure is going to be put on e-commerce, especially on marketplaces like Amazon. I don't know if you saw that, but Walmart recently announced that they will be closing their doors on Thanksgiving, which they never did. I'm guessing this is the reason why they are doing this is because they can't handle the volume at all. So all this volume that's going to look for deals on Thanksgiving is definitely going to resort to Amazon and go online in general, look for discount websites and all these things. And also, weird thing that happened is that Amazon moved their Prime Day over to the beginning of October instead of July this year.
Yes.
So we don't know how that's potentially going to affect the purchasing power. They're putting it extremely close to all these other holidays. Like I mentioned, Thanksgiving, and then we have Prime Day. We have children going back to school. The ones that are going back to school, they'll need supplies. Of course, Boxing Day, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, all these
holidays kind of thing, or these events,
very close to each other.
Yeah.
So a Prime Day between them is not going to have a sales spike as it would have, generally speaking, in the summertime. But we'll see how it plays out. Also, they have introduced recently new rules in the US marketplace, and I think that the rest of the marketplace is also going to follow suit. It's only a matter of time that you should have an inventory performance index of at least 500. And even if you do achieve that, which many sellers don't know how to achieve because they're not being transparent over how it's being calculated at all.
That's true.
But even if you achieve that, they're still going to place limits. You'll be subject to limits in the inventory quantities that you can send to Amazon Marketplace. So before I even mention anything about Amazon PPC, I'll be sure to mention things that affect it, that can really harm your PPC performance during Q4 if you don't do them right, like inventory management, like your listing optimization. So when it comes to inventory management, I recently had a discussion with Israeli inventory management specialist, Ms. Orion Avidan. She mentioned that the whole trend of inventory management is going to move towards managing smaller shipments, even sending twice a week shipments to Amazon, just like drip feed the system so you have maximum control over it. And it's not always considered to be the best practice to send all your stock to FBA and just let Amazon handle it, simply because right now they have introduced 170,000 new employees. They are opening up 33 new fulfillment centers in the USA alone. They're making moves to rise to the occasion, basically, with all the ongoing stuff that's been going on. But for sure, they're going to have some maybe service disruption in a scenario of second wave of coronavirus in the autumn. And then pre-elections, also, I forgot to mention, of course, in November, we have the elections. That's going to affect demand in some way. We don't know in what way, but something to keep in mind that before November, it could possibly mean stable economy. And after November, we'll see what happens. Until the end of the year, we can safely say it's going to be stable, but you should strive to control every part of your business that you can control. And just like build a plan B for every scenario that you can. It's going to be you're going to be thankful to yourself if you do that. That's with regards to inventory management. So some sellers say that they will, send some minimal stock to FBA and keep everything else in their own 3PL logistics partners. That's one of the ways how you can get around that. And if you see that there is a service disruption in Amazon, or they are not allowing you enough units, that you have systems in place to send it fast into the FBA inventory. And other people are complaining that recently, even though they pay for high airline fees, their airlines don't arrive sooner. They're being slower in shipments. So it's definitely going to require more planning on the inventory side for the ones that are the most serious. And raising IPI index score threshold from Amazon side only means that they want to clean up the ones that aren't being serious, like we previously discussed. And just like leave out the ones that are the winners. If you can ensure stability in these uncertain times, they can ensure you demand. That's an exchange.
That's an exchange, exactly. Of if you are willing to put in the work, they are willing to let you pay on Amazon, sell on Amazon.
Yeah. And if you can ensure if you have a good product, of course, that is trending, that's in demand during these times, then you have leverage to negotiate with them higher quantities, to allow you to send higher quantities to the warehouse, because at the end game, they want to do what's best for everybody, but they want to be profitable too. So if they can somehow squeeze out additional sales, then you have leverage to negotiate bigger quantities. But still, generally speaking, out of the sellers that we collaborate with, most of them that are 7-8 figure sellers are the ones that have their inventory management sorted out, very detailed forecasting plans for everything. And they're updating those forecasts according to the recent trends, and they're not romantic about their products. If it's no longer relevant in this industry, in this economy, the lockdown economy, how I call it, then you just change it. You just start selling something else. Fail fast, how they say.
And for example, for me with the inventory management also, it was for this year, for example, it was very challenging because the shipments got into Amazon, right, on time, but they also take a lot of time unpacking. And I guess everyone's watching who's using FBA has been affected by this as well. When you get your product, say in July the 1st, and today is July the 24th, and nothing is in stock yet. So, it makes me think like, all right, so the Q4 is coming now. The Prime Day is in October. When should I have my inventory ready? And I want to bring big stocks. It's, the inventory management here is specifically for this specific reason also is kind of unclear. And it's insane in a way because it's different. It's I don't know.
Yeah, I know the topic of this video was PPC, but you can't scale an account, and it's pointless to talk about sponsor brands video ads if someone doesn't have stock to sell.
Exactly.
Simple like that. So I'm thinking that this year is going to be all about returning to basics and making sure your systems are in place, and then striving for more. Of course, this is this whole story that we just said is relevant for the sellers that are importing their goods for China. And of course, the sellers who at the same time can control the manufacturing process, or they're domestically sourcing in the USA, for example, they're in a much better position because they're, in most of the cases, they have their own warehouse or also are doing 3PL services themselves. So you have maximum control over your stock that way. So that being said, if you see long inbound shipments times and they're not accepting this inventory fast enough, then make sure the next batch is on FBM. That way you can ensure stable sales. It's basically how you will ensure stability, even though I'm not sure what are the rules around seller fulfilled prime, whether you can still do that and what are the rules, but it might be worth looking into that. You can, if you can ensure the same shipment times, the same conditions as FBA, then why not do that?
Yeah, I recently was approached by guys from deliver.com. Maybe you heard about it. So I guess, they wanted to collaborate. So I might do it in the future with them. However, I want to test out their service as well so I guess I will do this in this, I wanted to say Q4, but probably before, because I want to be ready for the Q4 with them, but it's going to be interesting. And I guess it's very smart that we did mention these points because, well, of course, PPC wise, yes, we're going to be talking about tips, tricks. However, this is the basics, the basic principles before you even click on start campaign, you know what I mean? And of course, for those who are watching, Jelena, I'm going to put the timestamps in the description. So, for example, somebody who just came in for the PPC, they're going to see specific. So, it's going to be comfortable for them as well, or taking them in mind. Yeah, and so for PPC tips, tricks, Q4, what do you think? What would be your best advice for us?
Yeah, when you do make the timestamps, make sure you write some clickbaits so that it's still click.
It's 3 secret tips by listing by a PPC hacker. I don't know.
Here's why inventory management is the heartbeat of your e-commerce business.
You won't believe what this woman was able to achieve with her PPC. I don't know.
She told me this, and then she found out. Sorry about that. Anyways, about deliver, just quickly wanted to go back to that. I know a guy who sold $800,000 revenue worth of thermometers during the coronavirus outbreak. Everyone was trying to find thermometers, and Amazon just wouldn't deliver them for like 2 or 3 weeks. You could be possibly dead by then. People were freaking out. And this guy made a deal with the CEO of Deliver, and his experience is that they were very professional, very reliable, very up to standards, and he was able to make money thanks to them. So it's a recommended service, if you ask me, from first-hand information. Yeah. So anyway, when it comes to PPC, of course, coming to the other things that affect PPC is also product listing optimization. You have a very good course on Udemy that people can look at. It's free, so it's a good checklist for everyone to see whether they're missing out on something, possibly. And it's the easiest thing, that's the part that you actually do control, and 100%. So 100%. Make sure it's up to date, it's relevant, it's optimized for ranking as much as it is for conversion rates, meaning optimized for the algorithms to recognize the keywords and do your technical SEO part right. And also for conversion rates in terms of a human touch, copywriting side, the imagery, the video. Video is very, very, very big this year, 2020. Not only in the product listing side, but also for the storefronts. You can use it for the branding side and also for the PPC side. Like recently we've discovered the sponsor brands video really generates high click-through rates, which is to be expected. It's the most interactive ad format there is. And I read recently somewhere that like more than 50% of internet content is being consumed through video now. So that's going to definitely be a trend. The thing is that Amazon only has so much placements for video. They don't have a lot of placements, and the more people join using video, it's only going to get more expensive. They're not going to come up with more placements on that website. So now you have this good momentum to use this ad format, and it doesn't even have to be like anything super fancy, or you can just shoot it with your smartphone. Just make sure you have this ad format present. to generate, it's very good for generating top of the funnel traffic, meaning people who are in the awareness stage, who are aware that they need a product, they're in the considering to buy something, but they don't know yet from which brand, for example. That's a very good format for you, and it's still relatively cheap. Also, another ad format that you could use in Q4 for your own advantage is the sponsored display through product targeting. So what you can basically do is target other people's product detail pages and appear there and steal kind of like market share from them, which ends up being expensive in most of the cases. Obviously, if they're on their page and a certain percentage, it's always going to be small, who diverts to you, but still, if you have some extra budget to invest in it, it might make sense to use sponsored display through product targeting. And another purpose for these ads, which is a very good purpose, is keeping your own market share on your listings. That's super important, like protective campaigns. The same way you target other people's products, that way you can target your own ASINs. And the reason why we recommend doing this even more than we recommend targeting other people's products is because this is a very unconventional ad format. And that being said, customers aren't saturated yet with this kind of seeing this. And we've seen for sponsored display, above the title on the beginning of the page, very thin, a layer of sponsored display. So they're coming up with newer placements that people aren't clicking on yet. And it's all in beta, so it's still relatively cheap. If there's like one advice I would give to anyone who's looking for growth in Q4 and have the systems in place to support it logistically, that would be using video in any format, whether that would be a paid format or not, that you can, and of course using sponsored display if you can. And if you are tight on budget, on the other hand, like all these things that I just mentioned, they're a little bit on the top, over the top. Like most of the people are looking for ways to advertise but still be profitable. So if you're in this budgeted way of running ads, basically what you should do is just make sure for the main keywords that you really, really want to rank for, your bids are within the relevant suggested bids range, even higher than that. In some cases, we bid even 30% higher from what the maximum suggested bid was, simply to ensure that we are very, very present on the search results page during these relevant times. So that being said, it all depends. The strategy for PPC that you'll use for Q4, it depends whether you are more oriented towards profitability or more oriented towards growth. And it depends on the business model that you have. For example, we manage cosmetic brands that never had ACOS lower than 60%, but they're super happy with that kind of performance because the core of their business model is repeat purchases. We are paying for the initial customer instead of the initial sale. However, if you sell, for example, if you sell stethoscopes, that's a kind of product that someone will buy and use for 3 years, and they're not going to replenish their shampoo stock month over month. They have a product that they use. So that's the kind of account that only is oriented towards profitability, because otherwise it wouldn't make any sense. So if you are more oriented towards profitability, in that case, there's a free feature called Amazon Posts. I don't know if you heard of it or you use it.
Using now.
Yes, basically they have recently moved Amazon Posts to advertising console for some reason. And I'm guessing that similar to boosted posts on Facebook, this is soon going to be a paid feature. So,
of course,
probably.
And,
why wouldn't they? So, but right now it's still free, and it's so good that you can't believe it's free. It generates good engagement. It gives you tools to provide customers a branded experience on Amazon. So make sure you list out all these big dates, like for example, Thanksgiving, what were other holidays? Thanksgiving, and then Prime Day, and then we have back to school, we have Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, Boxing Day, all these things, and create, I would say, holiday specific Amazon posts. Aside from the regular ones that you do, there's always tons of content that you can come up with that will generate you following on Amazon. And like you probably already know, there's an option for them to follow you on Amazon,
Yes.
follow your brand. And anytime you do a new product launch, they'll be practically notified. So you don't have to invest any extra effort into letting them know that there's this new product from the brand. They'll see it. They'll see it in the Amazon posts. So it's something to keep in mind, like harvest all the things that you can potentially harvest that are free, and there's a lot of them. Like optimizing your listing is a free way to generate sales through organic ranking, only if you know how to do it, basically. So PPC is not the solution. It's just the way, it's a tool to help you out in the process. But the core of every e-commerce business, in my opinion, like Orion said, is definitely inventory management, and understanding that just like any other search engine, Amazon has his ways how you break through the ranks and reach the first page. That's the end goal. Everything else is in the meantime is there to help you get there.
I see. So essentially, as for PPC, we have their normal campaigns plus video, which is played, I would say, automatically on Amazon, but on mute. Yes, so it's like on Facebook. So I'm not sure, have you used captions in your video on Amazon? Is it allowed? I'm not sure, because maybe once people, not yet. I see. So maybe me neither, but I'm thinking, yes, if it's on mute, what regularly you see on Facebook is that on muted videos, and because many of us are just browsing, Facebook, like wherever we are, and then if it's played on mute and there is some captions, it catches our eye because we know what the video is about. So maybe on Amazon, again, still haven't tested, but might be as well good. Not sure about the rules. And definitely video, it's eye-catching. I saw recently someone posting in one of the Facebook groups, somebody posted like a video of him capturing his screen of some dog product. Yes, and he's like browsing through the through the page, and there was like a dog running around this product. Really nice, creative ways, which can be cheap, by the way. You can create a Fiverr video. I mean, somebody on Fiverr to create for you. You can, as you mentioned, shoot it on your phone. Of course, it's nice when it's more fancy. And for example, now I'm partnered with FBA Vids guys. I will have them on my channel in, I guess, maybe in a month or so, because I want to finish the project. We're doing 2 products as video, and they're also doing PPC videos for us, specifically tailored for PPC 30 seconds. So yeah, once it's done, I'm going to see how it works and then hopefully have them on the channel. But video is definitely, as you mentioned, over 50% off on the internet, which is a lot, and it's the best way to engage. And then product placements, you've mentioned that essentially we advertise on our own products to secure, so to say, real estate, because bigger brands with tons of reviews can come on our listings. At the same time, we can advertise on smaller listings. We can do that with Helium 10, Cerebro, for example, to kind of find ASINs that are relevant. However, they have lower reviews where we can steal sales from them than we do on our own products, right? What you mentioned. And yeah, of course, also the holidays. So for example, and I wanted to ask you here, so for example, now we have Thanksgiving. So we would structure a campaign prior to Thanksgiving to different keywords, like Thanksgiving gifts for mom, or just like whatever. And then you created previously to the event. Can you give us some details here? Maybe you have some more expert practices in this.
Do you mean for PPC campaigns or for Amazon posts?
Yeah, so first, yes, Amazon posts I wanted to mention as well, which is a strong tool. However, for PPC, for example, you want to say Thanksgiving is coming, right? The turkey, and everybody's happy. So how do we as sellers, maybe some of your advice, how could we make our PPC better for a specific event? Maybe some ideas for campaign structure or something.
Yes. First of all, start with the product and profitability model that you have with that product. So if you, for example, are selling curly hair shampoos, it makes sense for you to create holiday specific that are by rule going to be discounted heavily. Because if someone is looking for TV deals for Prime Day, obviously they're not looking for full priced item, and it doesn't make any sense to advertise inventory like that. But in cases where you have products like these, then you can search for keywords like, for example, Thanksgiving deals or Prime Day deals. There are a lot of them. I use Helium 10, and I also use Ahrefs tool to find these keywords. It also offers Amazon keywords. And there you can find holiday specific keywords that you could target potentially. And the best ad format to do that with is basically sponsor brands leading to the product detail page. Because if you have a keyword that's like, for example, Prime Day TV deals, you sell a TV, and you lead to the listing through your sponsored brands ads that is heavily discounted. It's something to it's a good format. It's a good sales funnel you created for your customers to buy the product. The reason for this is because sponsor brands ads are the type of ads that allow you maximum control over targeting, and at the same time you have maximum freedom over the ad creatives that you'll show to the customers. So you can have a very diverse array of used strategies when it comes to sponsor brands. That's why I would recommend them if you're using this fluke in traffic that's related to holidays to generate new to brand purchases. However, if you're oriented towards profitability, then this kind of strategy is not going to work. And in general, the whole Q4 is not going to work for you because it's a discount time when everyone's purchasing, but they are more value shoppers than anyone else. So that being said, when they're value shoppers, they'll be looking for deals. And if you don't have huge amounts of inventory to make your money at the economy of scale, meaning selling a lot of items at discount prices so that you still make profit, it's going to be a little bit tougher for you to be profitable during these times of the year. So I guess the key takeaway from this session is that moving forward, sellers who want to take this seriously, this FBA business model seriously, are going to be the ones that need to think about building a brand instead of just selling random products.
Yeah.
And think about selling something that customers will need over and over again, like replenishment or something, maybe tools, things like these. And also possibly in a niche where you can generate engagement through content. You can easily do that for free through social media, YouTube, of course. You can definitely do that. On the other hand, there's another way how you can potentially send traffic to your listing that's relevant. If you're in a niche, there is a possibility that you have tons of micro influencers who have their small audiences that are very loyal to them that they can refer to your listing. And that way, you making deals with them, you will send backlinks to Amazon. And that's very important. Amazon loves backlinks because at the end of the day, they are also a website that ranks on Google.
It's a search engine, yes.
So basically, sending backlinks to your listings is going to help you organically. So, and you can easily make a deal with micro influencers where you give up a certain portion of profit margin that would be interesting to them to make money. Yeah. And you don't have to pay up front. That's why I mentioned micro influencers, because these big influencers, they ask for a check to tell you hi.
Yes.
So micro influencers, a little bit more effort, but very, very good results, generally speaking. And you pay them a percentage of the sales that you're comfortable to pay. And at the same time, they are working for you to improve your organic ranking of your listing. And ideally speaking, you want to have your PPC sales at maximum 30% from your total sales. So that being said, if you have $100 revenue, maximum PPC revenue total should be $30 and the rest should be organic. That's how you should place things in order to have a healthy FBA business. I don't know if I've gone too far now.
As what are you saying?
If I've gone too far with
No, not at all. That's actually interesting, and because that's useful for the viewers, I would say. And as you mentioned, PPC is just a tool. We eventually want more organic sales. And I would also add here evergreen organic sales. So for example, if you are talking to influencers, yes, you have two options, or actually unlimited options. But say YouTube and Google, yes, the biggest search engines, right? Say you're selling a fishing rod, and there might be blogs with top 10 fishing rods, top 10 blogs, which could generate nice traffic. And here's a little hack for those watching. For example, there's top 10 fishing rods post, right? You type an email to the creator of this blog, which might be a micro-influencer, might be a micro-blog, not CNN.com, right? It's going to be hard to get an answer from them for free as well. But you type them a message and you say like, hey guys, how are you? Like, I sell fishing rods. My conversion rate on Amazon is high, right? You can give them some numbers. You can say, why don't you place me here? And then you say, But you know what? If you place me on the first in the list, top of the list, because that's where the most clicks are, I'm going to give you, as you mentioned, percentage of the sales. So for example, because he does like Amazon affiliate, right? With the Amazon affiliate links, you can't really know how many sales are coming from him. However, if he shares it with you, you can know. And then you say, you know what, you're getting what, 5% from the sale? You know what, I'm going to give you extra 10. That sounds good for him, right? And so in this way, you can use these blogs in order to generate more traffic and of course, organic traffic, evergreen, because fishing rods, if it's top 10 fishing rods for 2020, yes, that's maybe only for 2020. However, it might stick a long time in Google. And evergreen topics like, for example, how to fish with fly fishing rod might be a thing on YouTube. So if you reach out to influencers on YouTube, they're micro, and ask them to test your rod maybe, and then create a video with the keywords that they might rank it for, you're going to get evergreen traffic. It's not PPC again here. We kind of went away, but I think this is still going to be useful for sellers to get more sales. And yeah, and as for the other tips, I really appreciate that you shared them as well. And I have a question for you, Jelena, not connected to the PPC or evergreen traffic side. I wanted to ask you, like, right, you founded the agency Amazonia PPC, and as we previously talked, you do a bunch of other stuff as well, which is pretty nice. However, you are an entrepreneur woman, right? You do things a bit not regular like other people. I wanted to ask you, how come and what makes you do that at all? Like, why would you create an agency? Why would you hustle the stuff? How come? What makes you do that? Like,
well, there's always a motivation, strong motivation behind why people do something. For me, freedom does it for me. Like the ability to live your life exactly how you imagined it. The more you're free, the more responsible you have to be. That's the way. That's freedom comes with responsibility. If you place this responsibility on your boss, on your company owner, then you are less free by definition. And I realized this soon enough, and I decided to start something of my own. First, being a freelancer for a couple of years. And once you sense this taste of freedom, it's very hard to get off of it.
Tastes good. Yes.
And with time, you don't mind the responsibility at all. You just get used to it and become better at it. You have to, there's a saying from Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if you follow him, Gary V. He says, eat shit for 2 years and then eat caviar for the rest of your life. It means like, there has to be a period of at least 24 months where you keep pushing and you keep grinding and hustling, and it's really nasty in the beginning and all of that. But after that, my kind of caviar is freedom, basically. I have a very custom life setting in the mountains. I have installed optical internet 500 meters above the sea level. It's all possible. You just have to be very stubborn and persistent. And that's what I like about entrepreneurship. Aside from the opportunity to change people's lives and make a meaningful contribution to them through either YouTube content or helping them with their businesses, just like growing as a human being as well, because there's a shitloads of knowledge you need to have in order to be able to help others. You first need to help yourself become a better human being. So I don't know, what is it for you? Why did you enter the entrepreneurship?
For me, the story happened is I went traveling for a year, was traveling with a backpack through Southeast Asia. It was a bit after my military service, and I finished the service and I didn't really know what I want to do with my life. I was still working as a lifeguard back then and in the pools. So I set up some money and I met a girl that told me about travels for cheap and for a long time. I was like, she told me like she wants to travel 6 months in India. I was like, 6 months? Is it even possible? So I started like researching about backpacking, and I ended up traveling a whole year through Southeast Asia with a backpack, with no business, no family, no obligations, no job, a whole year of my life. It was the ultimate freedom, I would say, because it was insane. So once I finished that, once I got back to normal life, I didn't really get back to normal life because I saw the possibilities, and I said, like, I gotta create something to give me that kind of freedom. And that's how I started with different projects. I tried selling gym wear online. I tried selling sunglasses. Eventually, Amazon FBA is the business that started working for me. Late 2016, I started. And I quit my job in late 17. So I was 1 year more a lifeguard with Amazon. It was funny. I was working in the lifeguard huts. It was, yeah, quite a period,
Awesome.
very exciting. And then I quit to pursue my dreams of Amazon. Now there's the YouTube, the affiliate marketing, a bunch of stuff that I do. However, I would say also freedom to do whatever the heck I want, whenever I want, just to wake up in my own hours and have a good influence on people. I believe in people. I believe in cooperation. I believe we can make the world better. So, you know, once I connect individuals like you, where we have kind of the mutual language, it's easy to connect, then share stuff, and hopefully everybody's watching is gonna, enjoy and get something from this. So, yeah.
Hopefully,
and also, I wanted to say that Jelena also has a YouTube channel. I should have mentioned in the beginning. However, I'm going to link it in the description. She has the agency. We're going to link it as well. Want to check out her services? You're most welcome. And yeah, I guess I would love to have you here more, Jelena, for more stuff we could share. I appreciate that you joined today, took your time. Yeah.
Thank you. You've been a wonderful host. If anyone needs any specialized advice, they can contact me, find me online. I'm almost everywhere.
Yes, you are. That's true. You're appearing a lot these days, and that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. So they can find me, and we'll see if there is a way to help, whether our level of expertise is adequate for the problems that they're dealing with in their own business. And yeah, that's what we'd be happy to do.
Perfect. So thank you for coming today, and hopefully see you again very soon.
Thank you for having me.